Most people think getting rich looks like a highlight reel on a social media feed. They expect to see the flashy sports car, the expensive designer watch, or the luxury vacation photos in exotic locations. But the truth is much quieter than that. Real wealth is often invisible to the naked eye. It is the calm person sitting in the back of the room whom nobody suspects. They are not shouting about their success because they do not need your approval to feel secure. They have something much more valuable than public applause. They have freedom. If you have been feeling like you are falling behind because you do not have the newest shiny toys, I have some news for you. You might actually be much further ahead than you realize. In this discussion, we are looking at the subtle signs that you are building real lasting wealth. These are the behaviors that the world ignores, but your bank account remembers. If even a few of these describe your life right now, you should feel a deep sense of pride. You are winning a game that most people do not even know they are playing. Sign number one is that you have mastered the concept of good enough. Every day, modern marketing tries to convince you that your current life is insufficient. It whispers that you need the newest smartphone, the faster car, or the bigger house to finally be happy. But you have learned to stop listening to those whispers. You chose a car that works reliably over one that impresses people at a stoplight. You chose a home that provides peace of mind over one that serves as a status symbol. I know a man who drives a 15-year-old sedan that most people would ignore. His colleagues occasionally make gentle jokes about it, but what they do not know is that he quietly bought his dream house with cash last year. He did not need a mortgage, and he does not have the stress of a monthly payment. When you can say something is good enough and truly mean it, you are choosing freedom over friction. That quiet decision made hundreds of times is exactly how real wealth begins to grow. Sign number two is that you can survive a financial hit without going into panic mode. Imagine it is a Tuesday morning and you wake up to find your refrigerator is broken. Perhaps your child has an unexpected medical bill, or your company suddenly announces a round of layoffs. Most people in this situation would feel a crushing sense of dread. But because you have stayed disciplined, you feel ready instead of afraid. Most people are not broke because they do not earn enough money. They are broke because their lives are much more fragile than they realize. They have no safety net and no room to maneuver when things go wrong. But if you have taken the time to build an emergency fund, you are playing a different game. You are no longer reacting to chaos. You are managing it with a steady hand. If you can take a financial punch and stay standing, you are not just surviving, you are resilient. In a world full of high-stress households, that resilience is rare, and it is a form of true riches. Sign number three is that you are no longer counting the days until payday. Let us think back to a time when payday meant everything to you. You probably had bills stacked like bricks, and you prayed that nothing would bounce. You knew exactly when that deposit would hit your account, down to the very minute. But now you often forget which day of the week payday even falls on. That right there is true financial power. It means your money flows correctly without your constant supervision. You have built a system where your bills, your savings, and your investments happen automatically. That freedom does not usually come from earning millions of dollars. It comes from total alignment between your spending and your values. You do not need to obsess over your next paycheck if your last 10 paychecks were handled with care. If you are not holding your breath until Friday, you are doing better than 90% of the population. Sign number four is that you can spend money without feeling guilt. It is one thing to save money, but it is another thing entirely to enjoy it without panic or second guessing. If you have reached a place where you can buy something simply because it brings you joy, that is mastery. It is not irresponsibility because you have already taken care of the essentials. Your bills are covered and your savings are growing in the background. I know a couple who sets aside 20% of every bonus as joy money. They use it to take their parents on vacation or to buy tickets to a show they love. The best part is that it is all part of the plan and nothing breaks their financial system. If you are spending money with intention rather than shame, you have found a balance that few people reach. Money is not just a defense mechanism, it is a tool for wonder, and you are finally using it that way. Sign number five is that your investments grow without you thinking about them. This is the quietest wealth builder of all. When your money starts making its own money, you have entered the world of exponential growth. Even modest and automatic contributions can create serious results over time. Think about a person who invests $75 a week into a simple index fund. They do not trade stocks and they do not try to time the market. After 7 years of consistent action, that account can grow to over $40,000. When you stop obsessing about the daily fluctuations of the market and just stay steady, you win. If your wealth grows quietly in the background while you focus on living your life, you have succeeded. You have built a money machine that does not need your daily attention to function. Sign number 6 is that you do not need complex apps and dashboards to feel in control. There is nothing wrong with tracking your money, but true control is quiet. If your sense of security depends on checking 5 different spreadsheets every hour, something is wrong. Real financial maturity is knowing your system is working even when you are not looking at it. I know a man who used to open his banking app every morning like it was a daily newspaper. Now he only checks it once a week because he trusts the structure he built. Automatic payments for bills, automatic transfers for savings, and automatic investments for retirement. It all flows exactly where it needs to go without him touching a button. If you have reached the point where simplicity beats stimulation, you have evolved. You have built financial systems so stable, they do not need constant babysitting. That is the true flex of a professional, not more data, but more peace. Sign number 7 is the most powerful of all. You have stopped competing with everyone else. When you stop trying to win the status game, you finally start building wealth on your own terms. You stop comparing your salary to your neighbor or your friends. You stop buying things just to impress people who are not even paying attention. Instead, you define success by your own personal metrics. You measure your life by peace, purpose, ownership, and time. I know a person who sold their expensive city apartment and quit a high-pressure job. They moved to a smaller town and started working for themselves. They earn less money now, but they own every hour of their day. They wake up slowly, they travel when they want, and their expenses are 60% lower. They stopped chasing the corporate ladder and built their own staircase to happiness. If you are no longer measuring yourself against social media posts, you are miles ahead. Wealth is not about beating others, it is about building the freedom to live your life your way. So if you choose function over flash and can handle surprises without stress, take a moment to breathe. If you spend with joy and invest with discipline, you are already wealthy in the ways that matter most. You might not feel rich yet, but if you follow these signs, your future self will be incredibly grateful. Your peace of mind will compound over the years, and your bank account will eventually catch up. If this perspective resonated with you today, I would love to hear which of these signs is true for you, right, Gio? Leave a comment below and join our community of quiet strategists. Until next time, keep building your wealth in silence. Quiet money always wins in the end.